Hello everyone, welcome back. We're here for our second episode. We're going to go over the milestones that we gained in the last stream, and then we'll get back into it. So at the end of the last stream we became a grand village. So that one basically gave us $1 million, 4 development points, and 6 expansion permits, as well as many other things. Wow. Alright, let's get back into it. So I think it was from this point forward the audio from my mic got corrupted, so I don't do a whole lot of talking, if any at all. So we're going to do a little bit of a voiceover. Right now we're just setting up some districts. The districts allow you to do certain things. You can assign certain utilities to service specific districts. You can assign parking fees. I'm sure there's a lot more that you can do. I just haven't done a whole lot of playing with districts at this point, so I'm not sure on everything that you could do in the specific districts. I know you can assign like certain colleges and stuff to service certain districts even if they're not in the district. I don't think we're going to get into that too much, but right now I'm just going through and I'm setting up all of the districts that we have in the area. That way we can assign like the parking fees and stuff, because that's a big way to make some money, recover some of the transportation costs. And we'll get to that a little later in the video. You'll see right here it's not available. I think in a few minutes we open this back up looking for... I was looking to see if you could adjust the taxi fare. The amount of the fare, but I think that's just automatically set by the game, and if it's not, I don't know how to change it. So we're going to put in the we made it to Tiny Town right there by placing the taxi hub, and then we're going to place just kind of some random taxi locations, try to cover the area pretty well. That way if the citizens wanted to use public transit instead of driving, they could, because I hadn't put in any parking at this point, I don't think. Just kind of riddle these around. You know, you want to cover the residential zones, the commercial zones, as well as the industrial zones. That way, you know, people take a taxi to work or take a taxi shopping or whatever. So we're just going to place them down just kind of randomly, but not random, if that makes any sense. And I think right here is where I start looking for if you can change the amount that the taxis charge the citizens. Doesn't look like you can. You'll notice in here now that the roadside parking fee is available. I don't set that up right now, but it is available. I missed it. I was focused on trying to adjust the taxi fare. See, right there you can select the operating districts. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. So I want those taxis to operate in all of those districts. I did that to see if it was possible to set the fare by district, but it's not. So now we'll get back to actually playing and getting some taxis out on the road, and you'll see there they go. Now, I don't think that I do it, but you can actually click on that building and see how many taxis are going out on the road and what they're doing. You can do that with like all of your service buildings, your hospitals, your crematoriums, fire trucks, ambulance, all of that. You can see how many are out and about and what they're doing and stuff like that. Right here, I think what we're doing is breaking this up to start the office zoning, which I actually end up going back and undoing because I made that the zoning too small and the office buildings wouldn't fit in there. Not sure if I do that in this episode or the next. I've got a couple already recorded. But you'll see I'll zone that in, and one little section starts but the other ones don't. So I do come back later and I take those little alleyways out. Right now I'm trying to address the high density residential needs, or demand is what it's called. Placing another medical clinic to provide better coverage. Yep. And we needed another high school. Because if you see up there, I don't have one at this point. So now I have one, and we have capacity for 800 people to be in high school. Getting some row housing up. We're going to check on our citizens' happiness right now. They're not happy with the leisure, so we're going to put in some parks, I think is what we do at this point. Just trying to keep people happy. If your citizens are happy, they'll pay higher taxes. Going over, checking all of the civil services and making sure that I've got good coverage. I think at this point we decide, yeah, we're just checking happiness again. And we're going to put in some telecom towers to provide internet and cell phone signal and stuff like that to everybody. We placed several of them trying to get complete coverage. There's going to be some areas I'm sure that aren't completely covered, but that's okay as long as the majority of the city is. Get another police station in there, I think, at this, no, we go a firehouse. I think at this point we were just checking our coverages. We're going to buy these 3 tiles so we can get some more industrial going out there in that fertile farming land. Kind of try to surround it there so we can get multiple buildings. So every once in a while when I place those, and it seems to be happening a lot during this one, if the buildings don't show up, they don't actually produce anything. So you place them and then you set the area in which they work, which is what you see me doing here. And after you complete it, if the building doesn't actually show up or the field doesn't change, then it won't produce anything. And I don't know if that's a game bug or if it's I'm doing something wrong. But you see how the buildings showed up there in the squares? In the zoning area? That it's going to be doing what it's supposed to be at that point. So you'll notice that it seems like almost every time I place one of those I have to delete it. And then place it again. Stone mining here. I was told that you can put stone mining anywhere and it will mine. I think I placed it and then removed it because it wasn't doing anything. Yeah, this is where we place it, and then as you'll notice every time I click it tells you how many resources are available, and it just kept saying 0 and 0 and 0 and 0, so I removed it. Place that road in there so we can better utilize the rest of that zone for what it looks like we're doing produce. I don't like how dark it gets at night. It's hard to see and do anything at night. Right here is where I put the stone one back in, and it actually does end up providing stones. Even though it says 0, it does take right off and start producing. You see, that's what I'm checking right there, is it's actually going up, so it is producing. Zoning in some more commercial. The more buildings, regardless of the style you have in your city, the more taxes you get, obviously. There, I accidentally dezoned that area. We're going to do another expansion here. Trying to play with the grid tool. I'm not super familiar with the grid tool and how it works. So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. I don't think I actually figure out how to connect the grid to that road. I think I do like a leg off of that road and then connect the grid to that. Now we're going to zone this in a little bit. We'll probably fast forward over this part just a little bit because it's a little monotonous. We don't want to hold everybody up on this. I do want to thank everybody who's stopped by to watch. This is the second episode in this little mini-series. I do have a couple more recorded already, so we are going to keep going with it. If you guys like what you're seeing or you have ideas on other things that you would like to see, by all means, please leave that below in a comment. We are a small channel, so every comment that we can get helps the algorithms. Every like, every little bit of support that we can get helps tremendously, and I can't thank you all enough for it. Be sure to click that notification bell so you can be notified every time we do upload new content. We also do live streams in various different games. I think the last live stream that we did was DayZ. We're going to do multiple different games on this channel. We're not just one game style channel. We're going to mix it up a little bit. And a big part of that's going to be viewer suggestions. So if you guys got a game that you would like to see, leave it in a comment below and I'll check it out. And maybe we'll do a playthrough series on that next. Here's where I'm setting up the roadside parking fees. And you'll notice that once you do that, you start making quite a bit more money. And you can do that and keep your citizens happy. You can also set up parking areas, and you can charge for them to park there. It's also another good way to make some money. Right now we're just spending some of the points that we've saved up getting essential services and stuff that we need to expand the city, create a better infrastructure. Education, we're doing that too. We're going to look at expanding our power right here, because we are getting down into the area where we could potentially have blackouts and stuff. And I think we actually do end up with an electrical bottleneck that we have to address here in just a few minutes. To put that where we want it, we have to buy a couple more tiles. I think, what did we buy? 4 tiles there. That also gives us access to that train track, which we haven't yet done anything with, but we're going to. I believe we're going to put a cargo hub up there because this is the industrial area. Maybe try and cut down on some road traffic by putting a train cargo hub up there once we can. So right here, I was in the wrong spot. I was actually looking for groundwater because I'd put a groundwater pumping station in. There, now I found it. And I wanted to make sure that it was still working or it hadn't depleted the groundwater. And it hadn't, so I decided to go ahead and just add in a couple, I think one more of these for right now, and then add some extra pumps to them. I might do the extra pumps later. Just want to make sure everybody's got enough water and sewer, and check on the traffic. We seem to be doing alright in the traffic. We've got that one little area there, but we're not going to address that right now. And so while we're going through this, if any of you guys are new players, or I mean even experienced players, if you see me do something that you're not quite understanding what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, please say something in the comments and I will go back and address that. The whole point of doing this is to try to help people learn the game a little bit more, and give you something to watch, something to unwind and just kind of chill. And if we can teach some people some things along the way, then great. It looks like right here we're expanding out into the forest there because we want to set up the forest industry. So we're going to build a bridge across and just kind of encompass these trees and road. And then we'll build the logging industry or forestry industry. That way we're not importing the timber that we need, we're producing it locally, which helps cut down on importation costs, which in turn helps make and save more money. You'll notice that circle is a little hard to see when you get into the trees, but if you noticed, I'd move my mouse to the outside of it and you'd get a different symbol. And so it would tell you that you're outside of the circle, and that helps to identify where you need to be. And so right here, they keep talking about this forest fire, so I'm looking around trying to find it, but I don't end up finding it. It's not within the tiles that we own, so there's not anything that we can do about it anyway. And see, there we go. We have a surplus now of forestry, so now we're exporting that and making money off of it. That's petroleum. And so we're going to do a little bit of commercial zoning right here, which I actually kind of forgot to go back to. But the point is, you want to build it and let them build buildings, and then you can demolish the buildings if they're not related to forestry. And the reason that we do that is so we can cut down on trucking on the road. That if they don't have to truck that timber across the map. So we're working through, we're going to go to Boomtown, Busytown, and then Big Town. And Big Town is where we're going to end this episode. But as I was saying, if you don't have to truck that timber across the map, you can cut down on traffic and traffic jams, which is what I'm trying to address right here. I do end up redoing this section, but I think I did that off camera. I let the game run a little bit off camera to build up some money. I didn't really do a whole lot of changes, and I think I do that actually in between this episode and the next. We put our road services building down. That helps with accidents and cleanup and stuff like that, so we needed one of those. Right here I'm playing with maybe removing the traffic lights to see if that helps traffic flow better. I'm going to do some directional signs just to see how that all plays out. I think I come back actually and put the traffic lights back in, because without them it's just causing accidents. And I think that Thornton Street right there, I end up removing that to make that a one-way street that they can only turn right off of. That might be one of the things that I do off camera. But you see right here with no traffic lights, there's Just accidents galore. Traffic jams galore. So it's not really going to help anything, so I think I put the lights back in right now. Just trying to assess how far everything's backed up right there and how urgently I need to address this issue, which seems to be pretty urgent. This is what I was talking about. I come back here to see what's in there. You'll see this one's not anything to do with forestry, so I remove it. Because they're built at random. That one's not forestry. That one is. So I'm going to remove that one and have two new ones built. But I forgot to come back to this to see if the new buildings that went up had anything to do with forestry. I'll have to do that in the next episode. Add some more zoning in here. Adding in alleyways there. If you add the alleyways, it kind of splits up the zoning a little bit. And right now we're doing the mixed zoning with the commercial on the bottom and the residential on top. You'll see that that addresses both the medium density residential demand and the commercial demand. It won't let us place here. Sometimes you can place a building if it's sticking out into the water and it will build the terrain up, but in this case it wouldn't. So we're looking for a place to put the welfare office. Purchase some more tiles so we can expand a little bit. You'll see that in the sewage treatment, I'm down in almost the orange there, meaning I wasn't processing enough of the sewage. So we're going to put in a wastewater treatment plant here. Notice that I did, before I placed that, I did check the air pollution, because you don't want that to be upwind of residential areas, because then it'll actually cause people to move out. And that took care of a lot of our sewage treatment, so we're good there. I believe this is where we're going to add the extra pumps. Well, maybe not. No, I think we're going to go back to trying to deal with that traffic. Here, we're going to build a off-ramp. We're going to try and give people another way into the city. It's just kind of hard. I'm trying to get my bearings because it's dark, so it's hard to see it. Just do some experimenting. We're trying to do a bridge, but I think we actually end up going underground here. So the bridge is doing, I mean, you can see all kinds of weird things. So we end up going underground here. I think I do revisit this later and actually convert this into, like, have some roundabouts and stuff, but you got a tornado coming in, but it doesn't actually get to the city. Oh, I guess I do the roundabouts now, don't I? Here's where we add in that grid, yeah. We're going to connect it to the existing city. You just gotta watch it when those pop up. That's super loud and scares the crap out of you. At least it does me. Gets a couple more tiles so we can do some more expansions. I'm gonna put down some more infrastructure, schools, medical. I think a police station. play around here trying to figure out what's going on, but I don't think I end up due, so I figuring it out, so I just delete it. Apologize. Apparently English is hard today. We just de-zoned that area so we wouldn't have another building go up in there and have that problem again. This one's going to be a little bit easier to fix, and I do figure this one out. So I was trying to figure out what was going on with that building, but before I could, it actually disappeared. So I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. I think I just put a park there. Yep. I think where I come up here, I'm going to buy some more tiles, and we're going to do another off-ramp. But I think we use the pre-built. Yeah, we go in and we unlock some of the the roundabouts and the intersections, I think. So we have to do highways and large roads. And now we have access to the pre-built junctions, which some of them are kind of hard to use. Gotta make sure all of those roads connect and everything's blue, which it worked out for me this time. So, a lot of times it doesn't. Then we've got to connect those down, which is actually pretty simple. Oh, right, I didn't have enough to get the roundabouts, so we have to do it another way. That's the one thing I've learned about this game is there are like roundabouts and stuff like that, but there's always another way to do things. May not be the most effective, but it's connected, and that lets some of the commercial vehicles come up this way to address the needs up here. Put in a couple more taxi stops up here so people can get to work. Then we got this whole other expansion we need to add them into as well. This is where I add in some parking. Well, that's another one that it wouldn't build the water level up, so we just dropped the size of the parking lot. And then you'll see I'll click on those individually, and you can adjust the parking fee. Oh, I think I do that here in just a couple minutes. I think the rest of this episode is pretty well self-explanatory. So I'll just leave you guys to watch. Again, I know I've already mentioned it, but if you guys have any questions on anything that I'm doing, if you see that I'm doing something wrong or there's a better way to do things, please by all means let me know. You know, the goal is to get better at the game and help others get better at the game as well. And I appreciate the feedback. So we will, if there's anything important that comes up, I'll jump back in with another section of the voiceover. But for the most part, I'm just going to let you guys watch at this point.
driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive, and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement. A driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive, and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement.
That was truly superfluous. Masterful counterpart. You're listening to Second Moon Radio, the station of levitated tastes. Don't touch that dial.
Industry in the region is on the rise, and when business is doing well, that floats our boat.
There's no sinking this boat, Glenda. We're live, and we're getting reports about a traffic accident somewhere in the city.
Road maintenance services have already been dispatched, and traffic flow should return to normal. But if you're planning a quick trip out, you might want to wait a little while until everything clears up.
If you're in it, you already know about it. No use reminding you. Meanwhile, expect delays and drive safe.
driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement. A driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement.
You're tuned in to Second Moon, the channel where the classics never grow old.
Industry in the region is on the rise, and when business is doing well, that floats our boat.
There's no sinking this boat, Glenda. And on to our main feature story. The commercial district is booming, as the area is attracting more high-end stores, bringing the latest in luxury to our neighborhood. You can now shop for designer shoes while sipping a fancy local Jarva mate. Or so my wife tells me. That's good for business and good for the community.
Thanks, Jim. We'll be back after this.
I wanted to take a minute to thank everyone for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate your support. Without it, I wouldn't be here. If you have a moment, please like, comment, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. Thank you guys again very much, and we'll see you in the next one.